Imagine a captain steering a ship through turbulent seas. The winds howl, the waves crash, and chaos threatens to overwhelm. But the captain does not shout at the storm, nor does he waste time lamenting its fury. He simply adjusts the sails and continues forward in silence. In life, we too encounter storms, people or situations that test our peace. The instinct may be to react, to argue, or to engage, but the Stoics teach us that true strength lies not in reaction but in control. In 2025, amidst the noise and distractions of modern life, our power comes from knowing when to act and when to retreat in silence. Today, we'll explore the wisdom of cutting off what does not serve us, not with anger, not with malice, but with quiet resolve. Let us embrace the art of silent detachment and reclaim our inner peace. Emotions are an inherent part of being human, but they often have the power to control our actions if we allow them to dominate. When someone provokes you, insults you, or challenges your peace, the immediate instinct is often to react. Anger flares up, words spill out, and before you know it, you've been pulled into a situation that drains your energy and disrupts your equilibrium. However, reacting emotionally in the heat of the moment rarely leads to positive outcomes. Instead, it magnifies conflict, clouds judgment, and leaves you vulnerable to manipulation by others who might seek to exploit your reactions. To master your emotions is to reclaim your power. It begins with understanding that you are not your emotions. They are temporary states that arise in response to external stimuli. By creating a space between the stimulus and your response, you give yourself the opportunity to act from a place of clarity and control. This space is where true strength lies. When you learn to observe your emotions without acting on them impulsively, you prevent others from dictating your state of mind. Remaining calm in the face of provocation allows you to think more clearly, make better decisions, and maintain a sense of dignity. It also sends a powerful message to others. You cannot be easily swayed or Emotional mastery is not about suppressing feelings, but about acknowledging them without letting them take over. It's about recognizing that your reaction is always within your control, no matter how chaotic the situation around you may seem. By choosing calm over chaos and control over reaction, you become the master of your inner world. In that mastery, you find strength, resilience, and freedom. Silence is your most powerful response. In a world driven by constant noise, immediate reactions, and endless debates, silence holds an unmatched power. When someone tries to provoke you, their goal is often to elicit a reaction, to drag you into their chaos and feed off your emotional response. By choosing silence, you deny them that power. You refuse to participate in the cycle of conflict and, in doing so, maintain control over yourself and the situation. Silence is not weakness. It's a conscious decision to prioritize peace over pointless engagement. When you respond with silence, you create space for clarity. Words spoken in haste often lead to regret, while silence gives you the time to process, reflect, and approach matters with a calm, rational perspective. It forces the other person to confront their own actions without the distraction of your reaction. Often, this quiet resolve unsettles them more than any argument ever could. Silence is also a boundary. It communicates that you value your energy and refuse to waste it on what does not serve you. While arguments escalate emotions, silence diffuses tension. It allows you to disengage without surrendering your dignity or principles. In relationships, work, or everyday life, silence speaks volumes. It tells others that you are in control, that you will not stoop to unnecessary conflict, and that your peace is non-negotiable. It's not about shutting down or avoiding issues, but about choosing when and how to invest your voice. Silence is a reflection of strength, not submission. A quiet but firm reminder that your energy is sacred and not to be wasted on distraction. Prioritize inner peace over external validation. In a world consumed by appearances, opinions, and social pressures, the pursuit of external validation can become an exhausting and endless cycle. We seek approval from others through recognition, compliments, or agreement. And yet, no matter how much we gain, it is never enough to fill the void within. This is because true contentment does not come from external sources. It comes from a place of inner peace, cultivated by living in alignment with your values and being at ease with who you are. When you prioritize inner peace, you stop chasing fleeting affirmations from others. You realize that no amount of praise or acknowledgement can substitute for the stability that comes from within. External validation is unpredictable and fickle, often dependent on the shifting opinions and biases of others. Building your self-worth around such instability leaves you vulnerable, constantly seeking approval to feel secure. Inner peace, on the other hand, is unshakable. It comes from knowing your own worth, independent of anyone else's perception. It comes from making choices that honor your boundaries, values, and emotional well-being, even if they don't please everyone. When you let go of the need for external validation, you gain freedom. Freedom from overthinking, from people-pleasing, and from the fear of judgment. This does not mean you ignore others or disregard relationships. It means you no longer give others the power to dictate your happiness. By choosing to prioritize your peace, you reclaim control of your life. Your energy becomes focused on growth, fulfillment, and what truly matters, rather than being scattered trying to appease the world. In this state, you find clarity and strength, and you become the author of your own life. Detachment is strength, not weakness. In our society, attachment is often mistaken for love, loyalty, or commitment. We hold tightly to people, situations, or outcomes, believing that our happiness depends on their presence or success. However, this attachment creates dependency, and with dependency comes vulnerability. When we are overly attached, we give away our power, allowing external circumstances to dictate our emotional state. True strength lies in the ability to detach, not from care or compassion, but from the need for control or possession. Detachment is not indifference. It does not mean you stop caring about others or the world around you. Instead, it is the ability to care deeply without becoming consumed. It allows you to act with love and intention while maintaining your emotional independence. When you detach, you free yourself from the fear of loss, rejection, or disappointment, because your sense of self is no longer tied to those outcomes. This strength also extends to handling toxic situations or people. Detachment enables you to step away without guilt or hesitation when something no longer aligns with your peace or values. It is not a retreat, but a conscious choice to protect your energy and maintain your integrity. Walking away does not make you weak. It proves you value yourself enough to choose what is right for you, even if it's difficult. Practicing detachment empowers you to navigate life's uncertainties with grace. You no longer cling to what is beyond your control. Instead, you focus on what you can influence: your actions, mindset, and growth. This creates an unshakable foundation of strength, where your happiness and stability are rooted within, untouched by the chaos of the external world. Let actions, not words, define your boundaries. Words often lose their impact when not backed by consistent action. In setting boundaries, it is tempting to explain, defend, or repeatedly assert yourself in hopes that others will understand and respect your limits. However, the more you rely on words alone, the more you leave room for negotiation, misunderstanding, or outright disregard. True boundaries are not declared, they are demonstrated through your behavior and choices. When someone crosses your boundaries, Talking about it repeatedly without acting sends a message that those boundaries are flexible. But when your actions reflect your limits, you leave no room for doubt. Walking away, refusing to engage, or calmly removing yourself from situations where your values are compromised speaks louder than any explanation. Actions command respect, while words, when unsupported, can be dismissed or ignored. This principle also applies to how you teach people to treat you. By consistently enforcing your boundaries through behavior, you set a standard for how others can engage with you. If someone disrespects you, your silence or withdrawal communicates more powerfully than engaging in an argument ever could. It shows that your self-respect is not up for debate. Defining your boundaries through action also protects your energy. You avoid the drain of endless explanations, justifications, or arguments. Instead, you shift the focus to your well-being and the choices that serve you. Over time, people learn that your boundaries are not just words, they are unyielding truths that define how you live and interact. This quiet but firm stance not only reinforces your self-respect, but also attracts relationships and environments that honor your values and peace. Cutting ties is self-respect, not cruelty. There comes a time when holding on becomes more harmful than letting go. Whether it's a toxic relationship, a draining friendship, or an unhealthy environment, staying connected to something that consistently undermines your peace, growth, or self-worth is not an act of loyalty, it's self-betrayal. Cutting ties is not an act of cruelty, it is an act of self-respect, a decision to prioritize your well-being over the fear of being misunderstood or judged. Walking away doesn't mean you harbor resentment or ill will. It means you recognize that some connections no longer serve your journey or align with your values. It takes courage to step back and accept that not everyone can or should accompany you on your path. This decision is not about them. It's about reclaiming your energy and protecting your emotional and mental health. Many people avoid cutting ties out of guilt or a sense of obligation. They fear being seen as cold or unkind, but staying in situations where you are disrespected, undervalued, or drained only perpetuates harm to you and the other person involved. By letting go, you create space for healthier connections, personal growth, and environments that nurture rather than deplete you. Cutting ties also sets a precedent. It signals to yourself and others that your peace is non-negotiable. It's not about burning bridges, but about recognizing when a bridge has already served its purpose. The act of letting go is not rooted in bitterness or hatred, but in a deep respect for your own boundaries and happiness. In choosing to move forward, you honor yourself and demonstrate the strength to make the difficult but necessary choices that lead to a more fulfilling life. In life, the greatest power lies not in loud declarations or dramatic reactions, but in quiet, deliberate action. Mastering your emotions, choosing silence over conflict, and prioritizing your inner peace are acts of strength, not surrender. Detachment and the willingness to let go of what no longer serves you are not signs of weakness, but of profound self-respect. By letting your actions define your boundaries and embracing the courage to cut ties when necessary, you reclaim control over your life. True peace comes when you stop reacting to the world and start living for yourself. Remember, in the stillness of your resolve lies unshakable strength.